The gym can be a really uncomfortable place, especially if you're someone who is already struggling with confidence and body image. When I first got started, I basically stumbled from one confusing machine to the next, completely aware of how painfully little I knew. And I was very uncomfortable and just wanted to give up. But over time, I kept pushing through and I found some tips that I think you'll find really useful on how to finally get over that gym intimidation so that you can have working out be a part of your life that you're comfortable with. So let's get started. When I first got started, it was at Gold's Gym in Austin, and I knew very little about weightlifting and about gyms in general. I knew that you could go run on a treadmill, but I had no idea how to use all the equipment. And I wanted so bad to feel like I belonged there. But as soon as I walked through the door, I was completely aware of how lost, overwhelmed, and clueless I was about where to get started. I felt like everybody was looking at me and judging me, and I wasn't doing anything right, and I just really wasn't happy. But nowadays, I've become so comfortable at the gym that I don't have any anxiety while I'm there. Well, no more than I normally already have in any given situation. So how did I do it? Well, let's talk about 10 tips that you can use so you can get over this gym intimidation and anxiety and start getting to work. Number 1, everyone starts out as a beginner. No one walks through the doors of the gym the first time knowing exactly what they're supposed to do. Everyone has to learn. In fact, if you look around, there's actually people at the gym that work out every day that still don't know how to use the equipment. So just by showing up and trying to learn, you are doing better than like 90% of people out there. Because most people, if they have a gym membership, they don't make it back after the first time. And you're here wanting to learn how to get over this. So overall, you're awesome. Just remember that. Number 2 is judging might not be real. Even though it feels like everybody's watching you and judging you. I know that it feels that way. I've been there as well. But if you take a step back and think on it, maybe a lot of that's in your head because you're already super judging yourself. You know, speaking from a truly super high self-monitoring neurotic who's anxious in most situations, most often in the gym, people are just focusing on themselves. And in the rare situations that they might be super critical of something you're doing or might be judging you for not knowing how to use something if you're new, that really says more about them than it does about you. Number 3 is go when the gym is not that crowded. If your schedule allows you to go when it's not busy, I highly recommend that. So most gyms have some high traffic times, and that's typically the mid to late morning around 8 to 10 a.m. before people get to work, and also after work in the 4 to 7 p.m. timeframe. So going when it's less busy means a few things. 1, you have less people to deal with, and that's always a bonus. And 2, there's less people that are gonna be hogging machines. You can actually take a second to breathe and think about what's going on. And you can just overall reduce your exposure to other people that might make you uncomfortable. And most importantly, this time will allow you to focus on what you're doing rather than what other people are thinking. Next, making a plan is a big tip. You want to set yourself up for success, and almost always that means making a plan. A plan is going to have goals that you're there to accomplish. It's going to have when you're starting, when you're ending, how to know when you've completed your workout, and what you're focusing on for that day. It's gonna keep you focused and on track to make sure you reach your goals. When I go to the gym, I have a plan for what I'm going to work out that day, whether it's a specific muscle group I'm working out or a cardio day. And I use the Strong Fitness app to keep track of all of my exercises for each of those days. And then inside of that, I also have how many reps I do and how many sets. Now, you don't have to use the Strong Fitness app. You could write things down or you could use a different app, but having something that you can go back to with your plan so you can see where you're on track is a great idea. All right, next up is avoid human interaction. I know, it sounds glorious, but if humans are making us uncomfortable and we're at a gym with humans, how do we do that? Well, that's a good question, and there are some tricks that I've learned along the way. And so one is listening to music, putting on some headphones, using your AirPods, whatever you have, so that you can listen to music that's motivating to you and you can stay focused and not be listening to other people's conversations or anything else. You can stay focused on what motivates you. Another thing I've done is put a hat on. So I've gone to the gym, I've had a hat on, I've had headphones in, and it's really hard to focus on other people when you can't see them and they can't see your eyes. And that's a good way to just stay focused. There's a reason why there's a lot of people that wear hats and listen to music while they're at the gym. And that's because they want to focus on themselves. They don't want all the other stuff that's around them. And if you don't have any headphones or anything, I do recommend getting some that are wireless. That way it doesn't interfere with your movement. I've used wires before and attach something to my arm and it's really annoying. So nowadays I use AirPods. Number 6 is avoid comparing yourself to others. I know this is a hard one, and it's hard in the gym because it's hard in life. We are just humans that want to compare ourselves, and most often that means that other people are better than us if we don't have a lot of self-confidence. And we want to avoid that. We want to stop thinking that way. When you're at the gym and in life, focus on you, focus on what you're doing, on your goals, and on your outcomes, because that's all you can control anyway. Working out is a really great physical challenge, but what a lot of us don't recognize when we're getting started is that it's a really big mindset challenge as well. It's about pushing yourself when you feel like you can't go any further, and it's about doing things that make you uncomfortable and pushing through. So I encourage you to not focus on what other people are doing. Let them deal with their own challenges, their own goals, and whatever things they're dealing with in their own lives. This is your time to work on you. Number 7 is embrace the discomfort. And I know it's hard to embrace discomfort, but it's really going to help. Trust me on this one. First off, it's entirely okay to feel uncomfortable in the gym. That is understandable. There's a lot of people that's intimidating. You're walking into a new environment and you have no idea what you're doing. Of course that's going to be uncomfortable. But the way to get past that is to just dive in, know that you're uncomfortable, and learn. So the thing about discomfort is that it's no fun, but if you learn to lean into it, it's going to make you a better person. Whether you're leaning into it by lifting a heavier weight that feels really heavy, but then you get through it, that's gonna make you stronger physically, and it's gonna teach you, hey, I thought I couldn't do that, but then I told myself I could and I was able to do it. That's what I love about strength training and exercise in general, is that it continually teaches you every single day, you're really stronger than you think you are. And you can push yourself and get through anything. It just takes time, brick by brick, focusing on how to be better than yesterday. All right, so number 8 is breathe. You really wanna go and lift the dumbbells, but there's a bunch of big dudes over there, and so you feel uncomfortable. Take a second and breathe. Just focus on breathing in and breathing out. And what this is gonna do is first off gonna hopefully calm down your heart from racing. It's gonna help you think on what you're doing, remind yourself where your goals are and what your plan is, and figure out what that next step is. This is also a really good time to assess your plan and think on, okay, in this moment, I am feeling overwhelmed by this. And in order for next time this doesn't happen, I'm gonna plan ahead and come up with a solution for this. So if it's, I get over to the dumbbells and I have no idea what exercises to do because somebody took the 15 and I don't know what to do, now you'll have a plan. This is all a process of planning, executing, learning, and then replanning again and iterating on this and going over and over, learning how to do it better. That's all exercise is, that's all life is. It's all about learning how to make those incremental improvements every day to be better than yesterday. Number 9 is you could get a trainer or a coach. Now, if you wish to just have some person walk you through what to do, and that would make you the most comfortable, then gyms do offer that as an option. You can also do that virtually by getting an online coach, and they can walk you through different workouts. Personally, I have tried all of these options. I've had personal trainers at the gym. Some were great and some were not so great. I've had online coaches. Some were great and some were not so great. And I've purchased programs and brought them with me. Again, some were great and some were not so great. So it kind of just requires trying and seeing what works for you. Number 10 is to remember your goals. And this is important because there will be times, I promise you, that you want to give up, that you feel like it's not working, that you feel like none of this is worth it and why even bother. In those moments, you're gonna need to remember your original goals. And I encourage you to really think on that goal and make sure that it's something that is strong enough and important enough to you and your soul that you want to accomplish it. That's why really losing a few pounds isn't the best goal, because when you lose those few pounds, it really doesn't mean that much to you. But being able to fit into those jeans that you've been having hang up in your closet for the past 2 years that still have the tags on them that you bought thinking that one day you'll be able to fit into them, that's a pretty powerful goal. Or how about you want to have more ability to get on the ground with your grandkids and be able to play with them and pick them up and not say, no, I can't. Or maybe you've just been diagnosed with a medical condition because you're overweight and you know that you're better than that and you want to get healthy and be able to live a long and healthy life with your family. Or maybe you want to show your children that fitness is important and a necessary part of life, and you want to show them that it's good to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and to get in shape. Whatever that goal is, make sure that it's crystal clear, because you're gonna need to go back to that a lot and remember what that goal is. We all have motivation at times and not at times. And when you don't have motivation, it's those goals and those behaviors that we set up consistently that'll get us through to the end. And those goals are what are gonna help us push past that discomfort until we get into a lifestyle where pushing past the discomfort is just part of who you are. And all of that being said, the overall intention here is for you to be able to get working out and to start pushing yourself physically. So in order to do that, you don't have to do it at a gym. Gyms are great because they offer you a ton of exercise equipment, and you can really get specialized pieces of equipment, and a lot of them that help you target different areas. But when I first got started, I used a few dumbbells, a bench, and some bands at my house, and I just got started doing things on my own. And if you're uncomfortable going to the gym, maybe getting some stuff and having it at home isn't a bad idea either. And also, I'm so proud of you for getting started on this process. So keep up the great work and focus on being better than yesterday every day. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next video.